We have with us Jaguar Gal, CEO of Jaguar Regulation. Let's see what is really Jaguar Regulation. It's not the car. Let's see.
No. Thank you. Thank you for having me here at Sigma. Jaguar Regulation does regulatory advisory and I'd say banking advisory services for high-risk industries, which are gaming, gambling, crypto, fintech payments, and of course artificial intelligence. And what I call our high risk is wherever regulation is not settled yet, and it's very contradictive or very new, I would say. So we do licenses in various jurisdictions, in corporations, international tax strategies, because typically the entrepreneurs are not of the same jurisdictions in which I incorporate their companies, and naturally banking and payment services, which is the common denominator and the most common issue and challenge that most industry players have.
I think this day is turning out amazing with what's happening on the summit. So you've been here yesterday and you've been here today. Just tell me a little bit about the event itself. What do you think about it?
Well, as usual, the Sigma events are fantastic. They're brilliant, filled with people. The whole industry is about here. All the AI, crypto, gambling industry. I'm calling gambling the shortage of gaming and gambling together. And everybody's here, all the suppliers, potential clients, all my B2B clients, colleagues, great speakers. I was speaking yesterday, I'm kidding. It's fantastic as always.
Great. So there's a lot of regulatory advancements. What regulatory developments are shaping the gaming industry worldwide? And how do you think they will impact businesses, high-risk sectors like gaming and crypto? Because this is a little bit kind of always, not gray, but always in the hot water.
Well, I always deal with high-risk industries such as artificial intelligence and crypto and gaming or gambling regulation. And when I advise regarding regulation, I always take it with a pinch of salt, and I always tell my clients that these are my best recommendations as of now, and with whatever such and such exposure level, because there's never a zero level of exposure, legal and regulatory exposure. Otherwise, I might lose my my law firm if I did it differently. So what's changing is, at least for me now, and over here in Dubai, it is being developed a new free zone for casinos and gaming and gambling together. So that's one thing that's developing over here. But across the world, not just over here, the whole industry is shaping and I would say maturing. And if up until now the industry was like the new bad boy or bad new boy of coming into town, now the maturity of the industry shows that compliance is getting much stricter, much better. There's much better rules, and best is, and what's more helping to make the right decisions, there are enough decision-making, court decision-making, judicial decisions, regulatory decisions, and fines, by the way, and the opposite, or contradictory rulemaking that will set the way of how to interpret the new regulation. It is always vital and developing. There's the new AI regulation, AI Act, the European AI Act, affecting everywhere. Even the US is developing its own AI regulation to deal with that and to make that progress. Absolutely so. And I think that's great.
Very interesting. I want to follow up with a question, which is, we talked about regulations and fines, and this is where we go into the compliance part, because it's changing as much as fast. And what are those biggest compliance challenges for companies that they want to face? And then how can they actually navigate them effectively, but in a easy way? Because I know it's a headache.
Well, it will become my headache when I serve my clients, but and I'm good at headaches.
I think you're doing,
I have the pill.
Yeah, I think what you do is.
Well, I try to make it valuable, so I bring value to the industry, to those industries. But I tell you that the developments are, the issues, the challenges are such that we have new payment plans and payment procedures and payment options and possibilities, including crypto. And crypto's got quite a lot of new regulation, and it's been spread around the world globally, and very recently with the Trump new decisions who are affecting regulators across the world, not just in the US, of course. So whenever we settle and we fully, at least we think that we fully comply with a certain gaming regulation in whatever jurisdictions, I work with at least 5 different jurisdictions, islands, Cyprus, Malta, Gibraltar, Dubai as well, and the UK to some level. Whenever we reach a point that we've put enough effort, and my team has done a lot of work, and we fully comply with whatever jurisdiction's gaming regulation, we find a contradiction in some levels, to some extent, with the crypto regulation, if some of the payments are made using crypto. And if that's not enough, we'll find some contradiction among these and the AI regulation and criteria and requirements that are required. And AI is getting everywhere, naturally, obviously. So I would define the challenge as not only compliance. I wouldn't say everybody knows how to supply compliance services nowadays, but not everybody, but we're not, quite many service suppliers in this sense. But the issue that is really challenging is the intra-contradiction among those regulations, and that we cannot really shy away from those and avoid them, because you can't do a lot of gamblings nowadays without having the opportunity of offering crypto payments. And you can't do any of those without adhering and complying with AI regulation, because AI is within your system, within your database, most probably. If not, you should do it. You should get there already for sure. So I would define this as a challenge.
Perfect. And this is where, I want to jump, because you mentioned AI, blockchain, crypto, gaming. So it's an intersection of different things. How is this evolving to the next level in the next 5 years? And what role do you think regulation will play in shaping this future? Because we're living in emerging markets, emerging technologies. Everything is like, you mentioned you comply for this, and then all of a sudden there's something new. And now, what's your prediction, if you want to call it?
There's one in the short term, and there's one in the medium, or say long term. The easier one would be to state the very long term. In the long term, industry matures and it grows up, and understands the need to comply, and the need in regulation at all to begin with. Because in the beginning, people, the young entrepreneurs would say, oh, we don't need regulation, we don't want regulation, code is the law, etc., which has a lot of logic to it. But we understand, not only due to enforcement by regulators, but due to thanks to understanding of the values of enabling regulation. So that is happening in the long run. But in the medium run, let's say in the short run, the new Trump regime and vibe of dodge and improving regulation and making it a better one or a less one, I would say, a more enabling in many senses, I think that's going to change a lot, because regulators around the world, as I mentioned, are taking that vibe, not really copying, but adopting those points of view, and they're going to be easing up on some of the regulation and requirements, at least the ones who are expressing, let's say, disknowledge or lack of knowledge of the technical parts of the industry, or the innovative definitions of assets, of services, etc., mining and others. And then that's going to change in a sense that regulation will become what I've always preached for, which is an enabling regulation and not a blocking regulation. Tax regimes are changing these days as well in several jurisdictions, and that's going to shift. It's part of geopolitical changes to shift businesses and revenues and profits among countries. So I think these two will play a lot with each other. I'd say short term and medium term for sure.
Thank you, Jaguar, for being with us and letting us understand more what's happening in this global changes and global emerging markets, and then how we can shift dynamics from one region to another, from one country to another, because it's really interesting following up on this. So thank you again for being with us, and then hope you enjoyed the rest of the summit. There's more to come. I think it's really interesting what's happening. So stay with us for more.
Thank you for inviting me.